This Destructoid E3 update is brought to you by Netflix.
All right, guys, that just about wraps up our first day of E3 coverage, but the one last thing we checked out was the Sony press conference, which was extremely thrilling for a grand total of like 90 minutes. And there was some stuff we checked out. Tara, what did we check out?
We saw Uncharted 3, obviously a lot of new games they've announced, as well as some new hardware, but Uncharted 3 was arguably one of the best games that they showed off.
It's a very pretty game.
They showed a couple of demos, one of Drake in what appears to be a cruise ship that he ends up throwing a grenade into and exploding, and then he has to kind of swim his way out of it. They also showed another one after they talked about the game a little bit, of him in the desert. I think this is the first in-game footage we've seen since October of last year when we checked out
the VGAs,
a demo.
And that was all him in the sand or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So they made they made an announcement that they're bringing it to the NGP, which I think we already knew, right? Also, they're having a multiplayer beta, which is happening on June 28th. That begins, and they've also announced a deal with Subway. So starting in October, if you go to any Subway restaurant, you're going to be able to actually play a full version of the multiplayer, not a demo or anything, the full version, which is kind of incredible.
On top of that, I don't know if this is news today, but they announced that it's going to be in 3D, and that
yes.
It seems like Sony's really pushing their two big things right now, which is 3D and the Move. The Move is still very much something they're trying to make happen. They didn't announce, but they showed off some stuff from Resistance 3. And that's going to be in 3D, and that's going to have Move support. And they announced the Doomsday Pack, which comes with the PlayStation Move wand thing and the sharpshooter and the PlayStation Eye and like pretty much everything you need to do that. And that's going to be $150, and that comes out I think September 18th or so, sometime September.
Other stuff they announced: remastered God of War Origins collections for the NGP.
That's going to have the PSP. I think that's for PS3. That's going to have the PSP games on it. And then there's also Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, which are being brought in 3D to the PS3. So a lot of older stuff. They also announced the new Medieval game, which is going to be Medieval Move Dead Men's Quest, which is going to have like a lot of throwing ninja stars and shooting bows and arrows and swords and stuff. And people have been begging for a new Medieval game for quite some time now, so that's something good. And there's also Sly Cooper. The new Sly Cooper's Thieves in Time. All this stuff, pretty safe to say, with a few exceptions, this is mostly coming out in 2012. Anything we just found out about today.
Yeah.
Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, probably involves thieves, time, Sly Cooper. There's a disco chameleon or something. I don't know.
I think a lot of what took up the press conference was new hardware that they're introducing that we didn't know about it before. They showed off a new 24-inch HD 3D TV that's going to be priced at $500, and that price, I believe, includes an HDMI cable and their 3D glasses, which are going to retail for $70
and
separately.
And a copy of Resistance 3, actually.
And a copy of Resistance 3. And what's amazing about the TV that they showed off is that when you're playing in co-op mode, if both players are wearing the 3D glasses, it's actually, they're seeing two different screens on the same screen.
So
they're each
it's splitting the
seeing
screen in a totally different way.
completely different, which is kind of incredible. We'll see how that works later in the year.
But it seems like what they're really trying to do is they're trying to push their Move hardware and as well as the 3D TV stuff, but the 3D TV stuff is generally pretty expensive, and it looks like with this TV they're trying to actually bring it down to a different level so that college students could theoretically afford it, which is cool.
Yeah. Another game that they showed off that people have been looking forward to a lot is Bioshock Infinite, which they just announced today is also coming to the NGP, as well as Move support it's going to have. And they say if you buy the game for PS3, you're going to get a free copy of the original Bioshock game as well.
Well, speaking of the NGP, we've got plenty of news about the NGPita, or whatever they're calling it. Let's take a quick word from our sponsors, and then we'll come back and talk about that. How's that sound?
Sound good. With more than 20 million members, Netflix is the world's largest subscription service and the best way to stream TV shows and movies to your home and mobile devices. You can instantly watch thousands of titles on a number of devices, including your Xbox 360, your PS3 game console, or your Nintendo Wii. You can watch as many movies as you want, anytime you want, for one low monthly price with no late fees and no due dates. And as a new member and a Destructoid viewer, you can get a free trial membership by going to netflix.com/Destructoid and signing up now.
All right, and we're back, and we've got some news about the NGP, which unfortunately is going to be called the PlayStation Vita. I hate that name. I think it's ridiculous.
We knew that was coming, though.
In other bad news, it looks like it's going to have a deal with AT&T for 3G coverage, which is... I don't know if they got that issue of Consumer Reports where it said that AT&T wasn't so hot, but looks like they're going with that.
The audience actually booed when they announced that,
Yeah.
if that says anything.
They don't really listen, but...
But apart from that, the system looks great. They showed off a whole bunch of games for it, and they've got this party system now, which, as I understand it, is a lot like Ventrilo or the Xbox Live, where you can plug in headphones and chat with anybody else who's playing if you're in the same party room. So that's nice. It seems like Sony is really doing the multiplayer stuff right for this. You know, the 3DS kind of started off.
Yeah, the
not
3DS
so
is
great.
not doing no much for multiplayer, but
Yeah.
this looks like it could be really the first handheld that's really pushing towards serious multiplayer. And I think the price point's pretty cool. $250. That's kind of awesome. That's the same price as the 3DS, and this looks like a pretty powerful little thingy.
Yes. The 250 price point is for the Wi-Fi only model, whereas the 3G Wi-Fi model will be priced at $299.
If you want to pay like an extra $50 to get AT&T coverage, you can do that.
Well,
whatever.
And that they said that it was going to be available this holiday season, 2011. So.
Yeah, they showed us a few games. They showed us Mod Nation Racers, Little Big Planet, new Little Big Planet, some of Uncharted, the new mobile Uncharted, whatever. It all looks really cool.
Yeah.
We're dying to check this stuff out. It's on display now. Today's news is stuff that people have told us. We are going to check things out for ourselves and make our own opinions tomorrow and the next days and on forever.
Yes.
For the rest of the week.
So stay tuned. For the latest and greatest in E3 coverage, be sure to check out youtube.com/detoid, where we'll be posting several videos a day all throughout the week.